Back for our talk around on Inside Tennessee. Don, what did you make of the conversation?
Interesting. You know, Mike was here during a very tumultuous time as our county mayor. By the way, the first one to be named county mayor versus county executive, I might add. But if I'm correct, Eddie, correct me if I'm wrong.
But Shumpert right before him was county executive.
Right. But he said something very interesting at the end about politics are divisive. They were divisive then. I mean, he had Victor, he had Tim Hutchison. He still had a lot of problems between city and county that did clear up when, particularly when Mayor Haslam took over, but we're starting to heal.
And commission wasn't easy to wrangle.
19 commissioners. I remember years ago saying, you know, when we had the 9 counties, 1 vision, referring to Knoxville as 19 visions, 1 county. You know, when you had to do all sorts of crazy things to build these weird coalitions. And everybody had a nickname like Spanky or Scooby or, you know, just whatever. But getting away from personalities is always going to be better. And unfortunately, and it does sound partisan, and everybody falls into the trap, but you've got a guy heading one side, the Republicans and Trump, that makes everything about a personality, whether it's his or his opponent. And they're either the worst it ever was or I'm the greatest, as opposed to let's talk about their ideas.
What did the mayor offer for you, Eddie?
You know, I think it goes back to having grown up in Knoxville and being a young person at the time he was actually mayor, you know, and seeing the investment that generation put into where we are now and us reaping the benefits of that. You know, it's really incumbent upon us to make sure we're investing in the community for our kids, my grandkids one day, so that they have a great community to inherit. You know, and you talk about the divisiveness of politics. Yes, it was always there, but I think it's gotten more pronounced with social media, because where you used to have to wait for the newspaper to come out, now you can tweet it in the moment it's said. So it's gotten a lot faster where you can tear each other down a lot easier.
Everybody has a microphone. John, we did ask the mayor about debt, as we did last week. This is an issue that this county is going to have to deal with. What did you make of the mayor's response about, hey, we needed to get those projects done and we are paying for them now?
You've heard some of that some people have said, hey, well, maybe, you know, he didn't sort of realize the ramifications, or that was more common back then. They also used a financing mechanism back then that they don't use today in terms of that kind of ballooned debt. They don't play with that kind of fire anymore. It was what it was. We're dealing with it today. You can judge him however you want.
Yeah, but John, even when you look at those debt figures, though, and people, they want to look at it like they're looking at their personal wallet, and they're like, my gosh, you know, 89 million, 100 million. When you look at that, you're talking about 10% of the budget dealing with debt service. If you look at your ordinary wallet and look at how much debt service you're paying on your home mortgage, your car loan, your credit cards, I would venture to say that most Americans are paying at least 10% of their net income towards debt service. So that's not that bad and that unusual, and it went for something tangible and physical that we need in this community.
We've got about 90 seconds or so. Eddie, let's move to the trial of former President Donald Trump and the impact it will have on the electorate. First, do you think that whatever happens will matter?
I really don't. I mean, I think we're at the point where everybody's got their mind made up. If anything, it's a very small segment of the population, like we were talking about, you know, off air. It's really, where does that small segment live, and is it in one of the 8 or 10 counties that really could decide this election come November? That's the unknown right now. I just don't think it's going to have sweeping changes, because I think people already have their mind made up.
Don?
I think it's going to begin major change. Right now, I don't. As we've seen so many times in the last 15 years, the polls, I don't believe, are accurate and are going to reflect what is going to happen next November. And it's going to be a worldwide embarrassment if we elect a convicted felon as the leader of our country. This is not a political prosecution. I don't care what people say. This has been fair. The judge has run a very fair, clean trial, despite Trump trying to muddy it up every chance he got. And this is just the first of 4.
As of this taping, we do not know what the jury has decided. Just keep that in mind as you watch on Sunday morning. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. And we will be off next week. Enjoy some tennis, and we'll see you back the following week in June.